Okay. One aspect of the books that you like to read is that they allow you to, like, more intelligently communicate with others on them. Do you see any connection between that, like, system of interaction and communicating with people online when you play video games? Is there any, like...
Yeah, because you can read a book for the enjoyment of reading, and you gain stuff, like, from reading the book, but it's also fun, and it, like, fuels your desire to read when you're able to communicate with other people about what you're reading.
Mm-hmm.
And you can relate that, in a sense, to playing video games with people online, because it's fun to play video games. Like, you have fun while you're doing it, but it makes the game a lot more fun, and you get more out of the game when you can play it with other people.
Okay.
So...
Do you see, kind of connecting the two again, any kind of relationship between the motivational factors of, like, you say you spend hours sometimes on a video game. Do you ever do that with reading?
Yeah,
Or you come, like, engrossed in a book?
If I find... It's usually when I personally choose the book that I want to read.
Not academically assigned?
No, because most books that are academically assigned suck, and they're not fun to read.
Okay.
There are exceptions to that. I have read a couple that I enjoyed, but I can probably count those.
You're also not an English major.
That's true.
What's your major?
I'm not an English major. I'm a communication major.
So do you do a lot of, like, in college, have you done a lot of, have you had any English classes?
Yeah. I took an intro to drama class, and I'm in a comparative world lit class now. And that's fun because most of the texts that we read and have read in those classes are the texts that I like. So it's stuff like Oedipus and Lysistrata and Medea and a bunch of, like, really old literary works that most other classes haven't taught. So that's fun. I enjoyed reading those. I think last year I read Importance of Being Earnest. That was probably my favorite story that's been assigned, like, in an academic setting that I hadn't read before. But, like, by and large, the majority of the time I choose the book myself, and that's when I'll find myself, like, sitting for, like, 2 or 3 hours, like, reading the book because I'm interested in it.
What is interesting about it, or what makes you, people say you can't put a book down. If you're doing it for yourself, like, what is the motivation other than...
There's different reasons. I mean, it could just be because, like, I've heard awesome things about the book, like reading The Lord of the Rings. That's, like, the kind of book where you just get, like, completely engrossed in it because the story is just so encompassing and, like, deep and rich.
Excellent example.
Obviously, like, that is more like the exception instead of the rule. But I mean, like, if the book has been, like, recommended to me by, like, numerous people, like, that would be, like, one example of that. If it's a book that was turned into a movie and I really liked the movie and I didn't know it was a book, like, I might go and pick that up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like Trainspotting. I saw the movie and then I found out that it was a book. So I picked it up because I wanted to see, like, how it compared.
What about, like, Fight Club?
Yeah, same thing with Fight Club. Trying to think if there's any other examples.
Well, I mean, is that ever the way you approach a video game, where you've heard about it? Like, what gets you into a video game for the first time?
Yeah, usually...
Because they have those where they take movies and make them into video games, or...
But the difference there is that books really aren't hyped up, like, on TV. Like, you're not going to see previews, like, months before a book is released, advertising for it. Whereas with video games, they'll announce, like with Halo. Like, Halo was a huge hit on the original Xbox, and they announced Halo 2, like, over a year before it came out, just to build the hype for it. Like, they
that's true.
They don't really do that for books, so...
That's a good point.
It's harder... I'd say with video games, it's more like the hype that gets built for a video game, and just like all the things that like fans and critics are saying about it. Whereas like with books, it's more like word of mouth. So like your friend or somebody in your family reads it and they're just raving about it. Another perfect example, the Dark Tower series, Stephen King. That series is awesome. I actually liked it a lot better than like Harry Potter, and I didn't even know it existed until a coworker told me about it, and he found out about it from his mom. So it's kind of like people close to you like recommend it, and then you recommend it to other people.
All right.